Hi, it's Halley, the original Rep thing. And it's Friday evening. Yes, yes, finally we're here. And it's really a beautiful evening. It really is today. The whole day has been really lovely. The temperature, the high was 75, and it was relatively dry. And it's been the first comfortable day that we've had, I don't know, in more than 3 weeks. So I'm very grateful for it. Yes, and it's a beautiful evening. Just the slightest breeze, yes. And it's just so nice and relatively quiet. So I can have a chance to breathe a little bit. Looking around the wildflowers, and I have this huge blessed thistle that's over there. It's all blooming, but I have to cut it all down. Same thing with the ones up front, because I have a number along the border of the property that I've kind of created a hedge with, and now they're all blooming. But when they bloom, what that means is when that their seeds are forming, and so when it closes the bloom, that's when the little pod full of seeds is ready to bust. So I have to cut them all down now because I don't want too many seeds because they're quite prolific, and I'll just have way more than I care to. So I have to cut them down and collect them, and I use the canes for some very practical reasons. I don't put it to waste at all now. See, because the deer don't like that at all. And if I take the canes and I lay it down at the base of the deer netting that runs around the property, they won't go underneath the deer netting either. Now, they don't generally do that, except for the crab apples, right? Because they love the crab apples. And I have a huge crab apple in the front. And when the fruit drops, I mean, it's a lot of these lovely little crab apples, and they are actually quite yummy, and the deer love them. But they will crawl under the deer netting to get them. The ones that are within the deer netting. I mean, there's plenty for them to eat on the lawn, but they want every single one of them, right? But when I put those canes down along the base, oh, they won't be going. They won't be trying to go there again. No, 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 no. They might try once, but they won't come back. No, they won't try again. No, I don't know if you don't know blessed thistle. Blessed thistle is a beautiful, beautiful plant. Most people don't let it grow because of the fact that it does have these incredibly long needles, and lots and lots and lots of incredibly long needles, and they hurt like nothing else. They really pierce your skin, and they really hurt. So it's a plant that you need to respect. Like when I cut it down, I use, well, actually, I use the tools to move it. I never really go to pick it up with my hands. If I were going to, I would have to wear like cowhide gloves, really heavy duty gloves, because they will go through a garden glove it's just as easily as they'll go through your skin. They're quite a needle. Yes. And the yarrow is all in bloom, and there's a lot more yarrow this year. So as I was saying in my video the other day, you have to be patient with any kind of garden. Actually, you have to be patient with, unless you have it professionally done. If you have it professionally done and they're installing everything, blah blah blah, even then, you really have to wait till the next year for everything to come back and fall out right. It needs a little time to grow. Yes, and so anyway, it's looking very lovely with all the yarrow and everything, and it's just really nice. And one of the reasons that I love it, for me personally, is because it does give me a place to be able to meditate and contemplate in a atmosphere, in a setting that, really helps to connect me to the earth. And then it's as much about that, about connecting to the earth and to the cycles of life in nature, as it is promoting wildflowers, or helping to live in a more ecologically sustainable way. And wildflower gardening is more ecologically sustainable for this reason, if nothing else, and this is a big reason, is water. If you have a wildflower garden, you never need to water your garden. They deal with the droughts. They deal with everything. Yeah, yeah. Um, Wildflower gardening will save you a lot of water. which is a good thing. And also, you don't have to use any fertilizer or any of those kind of things. So it's just it's a big savings in that way, and it's really good for the environment. So it's a double thing, and it does encourage a lot more butterflies and moths and all types of pollinators, diamond needles, all of those things. And there's so many different types. I didn't realize how many different types of diamond needles they are, and they're really pretty. Yeah. We have all types of things that live around here and back in the woods and stuff. All types of little creatures, like there's skunk and there's possum and chipmunks. Which actually the chipmunks live right here, literally right underneath where I'm standing, is where the chipmunks live. And squirrels. Of course, I adore squirrels. They're my favorite of all the woodland creatures. My personal favorite. And we have snakes, yes. All of the snakes that I've encountered so far have been, garter snakes, the type that live on bugs and stuff. Um, and it's really beautiful. Oh, they're really beautiful. They're really stunningly beautiful snakes. But they do freak me out whenever I see them, so I'm always happy not to see them, even though I know they're here. Oh yes, so many different types of creatures. It really is amazing, and it's a great joy to be able to witness it. And it's interesting because sometimes we go on vacations and we travel far just to see nature, right? And right outside your window, wherever you live, even if you live in a city, even if you live in the heart of a city, nature is right outside your window. It may well be inside your window too. But it's definitely outside your window. Um, there's a class I took many years ago when I was in graduate school. And we read this book that talked about how we as human beings are part of the natural world. And the things that we build, the things that we create, become part of the natural world. They become part of the natural landscape. Now, we can build uh, foolishly and without an awareness of our connection and participation in the larger landscape. Or we can do that, which is what most of the time we have done, right? Or we can do it with a very conscious awareness of our connection to the land. And that was the point of that book. And it was really a mind opening experience for me to think of the fact that we often create this separation between the human world and the world of nature. But the human world is part of the world of nature, right? Only that we're sentient beings, so and we have rational minds, so we can perceive from a rational perspective and make decisions that meet our existential need. Like in the here and now, right now, in this world that we're living in with the ecological crisis that we are living in, and to a large degree at this moment at least, paying very little attention to, but it's not paying very little attention to us or very little attention to the world. And the use of AI is really not a wise decision without having prepared energy-wise to be able to produce the enough energy they need without draining the current energy grid, and even worse, using methane generators to create the additional energy they need. And people are using it. So many of us use AI without even thinking about the fact that every time we're using it unnecessarily, 99.99% of the time, um, we are furthering the destruction of the earth. So I would ask you to do that. I would ask you to think about your use of AI, the need to use it at all, and the understanding of how detrimental it is to the environment. And our actions, our use of it, or our not using it, directly impacts our human toll on the environment in a time where we are losing touch with the existential need to recognize what's going on and to address the ecological crisis in practical ways, not only on an individual basis, but collectively through policy. And that's the big problem. And we need to advocate for policy, for public policy, that promotes the common good of all life on Earth. Uh, yeah, that's a really important thing at this time. And with that note, I will say thank you for listening, and please give me a like if you already haven't. If you haven't already, I mean. And subscribe if you haven't either, okay? Have a wonderful weekend.